Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the Ride A8 snowboard binding. I rode these bindings at Arapahoe Basin on an overcast day with some wind up high, low to moderate visibility, death chunder, frozen push mounts turning into ice moguls, some corduroy, a little bit of fresh snow here and there, and I rode it on my K2 Cool Bean with my K2 Thraxis boots. When it comes to adjustability, you got some of the standard features. So you got flip cams on the toe and the heel to lengthen or shorten the straps. The heel strap sits on a slide track so you can slide it forward or backwards. The heel cup is fully adjustable so you can push it in or pull it out depending on the size of your boot. The Highback has two placements for Highback rotation if that's your thing, and you can also adjust the toe ramp to slide it forward or backwards. Plus, you have the option of an aluminum disc or a plastic disc, although the ones I got only came with the aluminum disc, but supposedly they're supposed to come with both discs. What that's going to do, if it's aluminum, a little more rigid. If it's plastic, you're going to get a little more play underfoot. With the heel strap, you have two options on how you set it. So these are reversible. So the black plastic is more rigid, so if you really want to drive into it and push into it, you want that on the top. Otherwise, you can flip it like I did right here, so you get a little bit more play when you roll into that binding, and how you drive it, it just has a little bit more give. It is a minimal heel strap, so that way you get any of that padding or other stuff that most other bindings have, it's gone. It's just going to contour around that instep and lock you in. Now with the toe strap, it is a little bit more minimal, so certain boot shapes will not fit as well just due to how the cutout is in this, but it is rubber in the center with harder plastic around it, so you can go over the toe and have it grip. Or if you're old school and part of this 90s retro revival that we have, you can rock it over the top if you want. I don't recommend that at all. The ratchets have been overhauled this year, and that one finger quick release does work. You can really just get it to lock in. They do climb well, they stay locked, they're easy to use. Overall, it's a solid ratchet. One thing that I will note is these were right out of the box. They're a little stiff, so you do have to let them break in a little bit. That's just going to happen. Not a bad thing. I didn't have any problem with it releasing. Just be prepared that they will break in over time. The Highbacks are contoured out. They're milled a little bit more than the C8 counterparts that I rode, so they feel ever so slightly softer, and this might be due in part to the fact that this is an all aluminum frame to it, which is more rigid, so this would just give it a little more give. What I like, when you push straight back into this, it drives. You don't have to worry about anything. There is a little lateral give on each side of it. The forward lean adjustment is quick and easy to use. You flip it down, it slides up or down, you lock it back in, there you go. There isn't a lot of natural forward lean in this binding, which is perfect for someone like me that rolls with zero, but if you do need to add forward lean, a couple clicks, there you go. You can match it up to the back spine of your boot. Otherwise, it does what it needs to do. With the binding flex of this being all aluminum, it is stiffer, but it does have a narrower shaping to it, so you do get a little more lateral roll in there, which just gives it a little bit more lateral flex. It's still stiff. This is a binding that's just designed for charging the whole mountain, but for all mountain versatility. The straps, depending which way you want to roll with it, I like it with the softer on the top, do give a little bit more flex. It's a workhorse binding. It's designed to be a workhorse binding. You can kind of do everything with it and not worry about it. The binding feel of this is actually more damp than I thought it would be for being an aluminum binding. I expected it to just have a lot of chatter, but this footbed right here does a great job of dampening all those little micro vibrations under it. It's not a crazy lively binding. Yes, it's more lively than the C counterpart, but it isn't one of those bindings that just causes foot fatigue. It has a good feel. It has that precision and power, but you can still be laid back with it when you want to. So who's this binding for? The all mountain rider that does it all. So I'm not a big fan of all aluminum bindings because usually they're just too lively, you feel everything. This does a great job of dampening. It doesn't feel like a traditional aluminum binding. That foot pad does a great job of dampening, and it just has a smaller footprint than compared to the C series. So you do get a little more lateral roll in there. It doesn't have as big of a dead spot underfoot. It's a great binding. Things that I didn't like, the 3 degrees of canting in the footbed, little overkill in my opinion, not for me. Doesn't quite feel like a full 3 degree compared to other bindings I've ridden, but it's there. I also don't like the shaping on the toe strap. That's a personal gripe. I just think it's not going to fit as many different boot shapes. Otherwise, super solid binding, great little workhorse, can kind of just do everything in it. You've got optimal customization with it. You can change out the discs, you can change out the straps, and just get your preference more dialed in. Agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you gonna buy a pair? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to see us just grow out further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.